One of the big requirements for the platform that we're going to build is that of listing information in the page. And for that, we need a grid. A pretty good one is AG Grid. It is pretty mature, it's been out there for a while, and we can use it as a web component. Here on the page, you can see in index.html, I have the basic example, and in a second, we'll look at a richer one. On page 9, you can see that the library is being loaded, and on page 12, the element, the tag that defines the web component. Now, after that, there is some specific to this example code, and for the most part, it just loads some data. And down here, you can see is AG Grid. This is a custom element. And now I'm going to go ahead and run a server. I have the files here in this directory called grid, and you can see here I am in index. Everything else is within assets and images. I'm going to go ahead and run the server. I'm going to enter HTTP server. After that, I'm going to just navigate to the root, so it'll serve the index.html file, localhost 8080. And you can see there we have a bare bones grid. Now, this is pretty basic. As I mentioned, pretty much everything else you need is inside of the JS folder, and you can see there the basics and the components. So let's go ahead and navigate back up to the top, and now I'm going to load the rich example. Now, the rich example has pretty much everything you'd want to have, and so I'm going to go ahead and load that, and I'm going to go ahead and expand the page. You can see here all kinds of features. We can select all, clear all. We can hide columns, show columns, refresh via the API, refresh via element. We can select on and off by name, by country. We can show the tool panel or not. So as you can see, this has pretty much everything you'd want to have. So let me go ahead and point out some things. Here at the top of the page, you see that a lot of what is loading is Bootstrap, and the rest of it is pretty much the same thing that we did before, loading the component and some of the definition of the custom element. The rest of this is just the functionality that you see on the page, and this is also referring to some styles and some JS that is specific to this example. So I'm going to go ahead and share this. I'll make a note that this advanced example will show all kinds of things on the console. This is because this is loading the enterprise element for which you need some licensing, and I didn't get it for this. However, you can pretty much build it up to pretty close this from the basics. And the other thing is we can buy it as well. These are pretty cheap to buy, so I'm just showing this here for basic functionality, and you can see here that there are no warnings because everything is clean. So this is pretty small, pretty performant. I'm gonna go ahead and share this code next on a repo, and we can have some discussion as whether this is really the best one.